What is going on, guys? It's QueenHaleybee, and today I have a super easy Minecraft white fox house tutorial for you. This build won't require a lot of hard work. It's as simple as digging a square hole into the earth as a little den for your foxes to live in. In this video, I am going to show you some simple ways to make an easy little build into something very grand looking. Also, shout outs to Tonio Cedeno for requesting this video. Be sure to send me your requests and I'll make a video on it. Foxes can jump fences and walls, so I'm going to show you the best method to keeping your foxes contained later in this video. We are going to start out by smoothing out the land and removing some of the spawned in trees. It's just a few little tweaks before we can begin building the den. The location for this fox den is really cool because it is wedged between two ice lakes. I was initially going to build this on a snowy beach, but white foxes can't spawn in that type of area. I'll go into more detail soon on where and how they spawn. I'm building the shape of this den kind of like a pyramid, but I am making the shape of the hill into a C shape. The mass of the hill wraps around the entrance like a half circle, and we just round out the edges, blending it into the already formed landscape. I rarely ever build underground, but Flowbro loves building underground. I tend to stay above sea level, I like to say. But for this build, I am going to dig into the earth about 4 steps down. The cave is going to be 5 blocks tall on the inside, leaving enough air room to jump around and do whatever you need to do in this room. The main reason I tend to prefer building above ground is because I love to have a lot of natural light coming into my areas. Incorporating light underground is a tricky task, and I'm always amazed by the unique light setups some people make. With this build, I found an amazingly cool way to let in some natural light into this fox den. Foxes can't sleep if it's too bright in their area. They love shady areas, so soon I will show you what I came up with for that. I am going to use path blocks mixed with sand blocks to make this look like a path that foxes walk around a lot on. It reminds me of a bear trail. I used to hike in the woods with my dad, and occasionally we would accidentally end up on an animal trail and get lost for a little bit. So I wanted to replicate that type of path around this den. In the wild, I can't say that I've ever seen an animal den. I wish they were more obvious looking. In this build, we need something to make it stick out and be unique from the terrain around it. The best way that we can do that is by adding in a very large tree with roots and branches that wrap all around it. This biome really reminds me of the Disney movie The Fox and the Hound. I loved that movie so much, and it definitely plays a big part in why I like foxes so much. There are so many things about the white fox that make it so magical. One being that they are more rare to find in the wild than the red foxes. They can only be found in the snowy taiga biome. They will spawn in groups of 2 to 4. 5% of the time they will spawn in a baby white fox. Soon I will go over all of the white fox's predators and how we are going to build a barrier that protects your foxes from getting attacked. Now that we're almost done with the surrounding tree, it's time to add in a few bits of bushes and greenery. The fox's favorite item in the game are sweet berries, so I will be adding those around the area of this build. If you give a fox a sweet berry, it will drop any item it's currently holding and pick up the berries instead. I think this is Mojang helping us out in case your fox were to pick up an important item of yours and you needed it back, such as your diamond sword or something. Otherwise, you could either wait for your fox to drop the item, or you would have to kill it to get your item back. And that would suck, having to kill your pet fox over something like that. Adding in all of these leaves on this tree will be perfect for casting some shadows over the surrounding area, which is important if you want your fox to be able to roam around outside and sleep. Foxes sleep during the daytime, and they need to be under a block light level of 14 or less. If there is a thunderstorm, that will also make it difficult for your foxes to sleep. They seem to be similar to dogs in this way. You will see later on in the video, as I walk through the completed inside of the den, that I used a few unique ways to bring in some subtle light. Sea pickles are a very interesting light source because you can choose the level of brightness that you want them to have, making it the most complex light source in the game ever to be added. So I dug a hole into the ground, filled it with water, and put a few sea pickles in the water till the light was to my liking, and then I added a glass block over it. You could also add in some trapdoors if you preferred. But you will see later, even with that amount of light I added, the foxes were still able to peacefully sleep. I also added in a big ice block made window that looks out over the ice lake. It really turned out quite nice. I was very pleased with the result. The last thing I wanted to do was just drop my foxes into a ditch, similar to how I store my animals like cows and chickens. Don't report me please, you could definitely call me a chicken and cow hoarder. You can see that at the entrance to the fox cave, I have placed fences all around, leaving no gaps for them to escape. Then I added in 2 fence gates that you can open if you want to enter the cave. Foxes do have a few predators to be aware of. Wolves and polar bears will attack your foxes. However, if your wolves are tamed, then you don't need to worry about them going after your foxes. You also should be careful because foxes hunt and kill chickens and rabbits, so keep them away from those if you don't want your bunnies and food source getting killed. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will catch you next time.